May 12, 1943. Dawn breaks over the jagged hills of Cape Bon, Tunisia, where the air hangs thick with the acrid stench of burnt cordite and diesel fumes. General Jürgen von Arnim, commander of the Axis forces in North Africa, grips the steering wheel of his staff car, the engine's low rumble drowned out by the distant thunder of Allied artillery. His uniform, once pristine, is caked in Saharan dust, and his eyes, sharp, calculating, scan the horizon where American Sherman tanks crest the dunes like predatory beasts. You can almost feel the relentless heat rising from the sand, the weight of defeat pressing down like an invisible hand. The Afrika Korps, that legendary Panzer Army Africa, is crumbling. Weeks of brutal fighting have whittled them down, Rommel's daring dashes across the desert reduced to desperate retreats. Von Arnim, a Prussian aristocrat with a pedigree of iron discipline, had inherited this mess from the Desert Fox himself. Now, as British and American forces closed the noose, his men huddled in foxholes, their Mauser rifles slick with sweat, whispering prayers or curses under their breath. The Luftwaffe, once masters of the skies, is absent. Messerschmitts lie wrecked in the wadi beds below, victims of relentless P-40 Warhawk strafing runs. A radio crackles in the car, static-laced orders from Berlin urging one last stand. But von Arnim knows the truth. Supplies are gone, the last convoys from Italy sunk by Allied submarines in the Mediterranean's bloodied waters. His troops, gaunt and hollow-eyed, number in the tens of thousands, but morale has evaporated like morning dew under the African sun. He steps out, boots crunching on gravel, and signals to his aide-de-camp, a young lieutenant with a bandaged arm. "It's over," he mutters, the words tasting like ash. Flags of truce flutter from makeshift poles as Allied infantry advances, their M1 Garans at the ready, faces smeared with camouflage and determination. The surrender unfolds in chaotic waves. Wehrmacht soldiers emerge from their positions, hands raised, discarding their Carabiner 98K rifles into growing piles. Italian allies, from the battered Bersaglieri regiments, weep openly, their flamboyant uniforms tattered reminders of Mussolini's faded empire. Von Arnim stands tall, his Knight's Cross glinting in the light, as American officers approach, captains and majors from the U.S. Second Corps, their voices clipped with Midwestern accents. "General, you're our prisoner now," one says, extending a hand, not in friendship, but in the cold formality of victory. Handcuffs? None. Just a nod toward a waiting jeep. Transported to a makeshift holding area near Bizerte, the POWs are herded into wire enclosures under the watchful eyes of GIs chewing gum and sharing cigarettes. Von Arnim, separated from his men, paces in a tent, his mind racing. What awaits? Harsh interrogation? Starvation rations like those inflicted on Soviet prisoners back east? The Geneva Convention is a distant hope in this war of total annihilation. His officers murmur among themselves, stories of Allied brutality in Sicily, rumors of summary executions. But as trucks rumble up, loaded with water canteens and sea rations, a flicker of confusion stirs. These Americans, they're offering food? Real bread? Not the ersatz sawdust loaves of the Reich? Days blur into a haze of processing. Medical checks reveal the toll, malaria-ravaged bodies, shrapnel wounds festering under hasty bandages. Von Arnim, ever the stoic, observes his captors, their easy banter, the way they sling their Thompson submachine guns like casual accessories. One GI, a farm boy from Iowa, tosses a pack of Lucky Strikes over the wire. "Here, Fritz, light up." The general hesitates, then accepts, the tobacco a forbidden luxury amid the ruins. Whispers spread through the ranks. These Yanks aren't the barbaric hordes Goebbels painted. But why the kindness? Is it a trick? Boarded onto Liberty ships in Tunis harbor, the POWs cram into holds converted for transport. The sea voyage begins, waves crashing against hulls, the constant hum of engines vibrating through steel decks. U-boat alerts send hearts racing, depth charges boom in the distance. Von Arnim, confined to officer quarters, pores over a smuggled map, tracing the route westward. America? The land of skyscrapers and endless factories? His Europe lies in flames, cities bombed to rubble, families scattered. What madness awaits across the Atlantic? As the ship steams towards the unknown, a young Oberleutnant from the 15th Panzer Division leans against the rail, staring at the horizon. "Herr General, do you think they'll treat us like animals?" Von Arnim exhales smoke from his cigarette, his face unreadable. "We'll see." But deep down, a seed of doubt raises. The war machine that crushed them in Africa hums with a different rhythm, one of abundance, not scarcity. Little do they know, the real shock is yet to come, hidden in the green fields of a distant heartland.